Hello there. Another video. Today we'll diverge a little bit from our earlier videos. Today I want to focus on helping young professionals, or maybe even slightly more experienced professionals, get through this very tricky interview question. It's about what are your career aspirations, or a variance of it. There is no single answer to this question or any interview question in general, but I'm going to do my best to help you answer this question. This is a very tricky question. In a question like, tell me about yourself, or any of the, let's say, the normal questions that you would expect, there's usually a template to go with, and in a way, you kind of set the mood for that answer. However, with this one, it could get a little trickier because you want to have the right balance between being ambitious, being realistic, being not being selfish, etc. So we'll go a little deeper into each of these today, and I will give you some examples on how you could take the construct and create your own versions. Warning, and it's a before you watch the rest of the video, please listen to this. Do not take a copy paste template from the internet or YouTube and just rehearse and repeat it. I interview people, so do a lot of my colleagues across industries. We smell a copy paste response pretty quickly, and in a way, it does you more harm than good. So use these to prepare your own version. You have to be authentic. It is important to be more authentic than more accurate. There are no right or wrong answer to some of these questions, and that's okay. With that said, jumping right in. Okay, I think what we might want to think about is why we'll cover why hiring managers ask about your career aspirations, the common pitfalls you will need to avoid, how do you create a perfect response that is like you, and we'll also go through some examples in this video today. Okay, so going into first, why? Why do people ask this question? Or a variant of this question? It's primarily because people want to understand and get insight into your long-term goals. Like, where are you headed? Are you here for 2 months? Are you here for 20 years? What is your direction in life and career in specific? This is an important motivation. It's an important reasoning for people to see if they can connect with you, if you connect with the values. So the question is less about you and more about how you fit into the overall picture. Do you have the same goals or aligned goals? Do you have values that are consistent and that match with your potential employer? What are your motivations? What is your work ethic like? And we also want to understand what's your ambition level. So if the position is something that has a potential for fast growth or growth in general, we need to make sure that somebody who comes into that role wants to grow. So we need to know what is the level of ambition and drive when this question gets asked. And it's also about the long-term fitment for the organization. So if you would like to go somewhere up in the chain, you start at the low level or the middle level, and then you can see yourself climbing up the ladder or climbing through the different hierarchies or different responsibilities. Then it kind of gives the hiring manager a sense of if you fit into the company culture or not. All right, crafting a perfect response. Again, I have to be a little careful here. There is no good, bad answer. There is no set template. These are my recommendations. Of course, there's more than this. So if we sat and had a coffee for an hour, I would probably give you a lot more, but I want to be timing myself to a couple of minutes here so I don't overdo it. So one, be specific and realistic about your goals. When I say specific, I don't mean I need to be the CEO. I mean, I would like to get into a leadership position if that's what you want, or I would like to be the expert in this specific area. Let's say you're a software developer and your core strengths are, let's say, software engineering, just the heart of engineering. Maybe your aspiration is to become an architect, or maybe your aspiration is to become a leader of a group of developers, or maybe you're more into managing and delivering, so you want to go into those sort of roles, or maybe you want to be a people leader. So it could start where you are, and it could go into a number of different directions. And your hiring managers know this as well. So when you talk about I want to be this or I want to be that, be a little more specific about which direction that is. As I said, the examples could be people leader, you could be an expert, you could be just, you know, taking more responsibilities. And here you're not talking about titles, you are talking about what you want to become. And be realistic. If you were interviewing at Apple and if you said, I want to be the head of department of, let's say, the global search team or whatever in 5 years, maybe I wouldn't say it's not possible, but what are the chances? Probably not so much. I mean, given that the current CEO of Google was actually, an employee at some point, so it's not, I'm not saying it's impossible, I'm just saying be realistic. There is no, again, right or wrong answer. If you feel confident, if you think, if you have the conviction that this is the right answer, of course, go for it. But be a little more pragmatic about your answer so you don't come off as, somebody who's just living in the cloud. The second one is, while you may have the same answer for every company, the way it comes out, I would suggest to tailor that based on each company or each job that you apply or you interview for. When you go to a company that is specializing in sustainability, for example, and your role is still in software, or you're a business analyst, or you're a product owner, it doesn't matter. Tailor the response to that company's line of work. You could always connect your personal aspirations and find an answer that matches both, but don't be completely off. What I mean is, you can't go there and say, well, I want to be a fisherman in the next 5 years, while your actual job is, let's say, product owner for a Scrum team. So don't be way too off. You can have a related answer, but don't deviate too much from what the company actually does and what your job is going to be. Show enthusiasm. I mean, there should be this tinge of excitement when you talk about your future. I would say, I mean, people look for energy. It doesn't come across very visibly, but energy is infectious and people notice energy. When you talk about these things, when you talk about your future, show some excitement, show possibilities. I mean, the future is what you make of it. And it is an exciting thing to talk about. So I would, if I were on the other side of the table interviewing people, I look for this as well. I would like to see if there's a spark in their eyes, if they believe what they say. And avoid cliches and just, if you don't have anything good to say, you would rather say, I didn't think about it, than just say something that's completely vague or a cliched one. So the cliched ones are okay to say if that's what you really believe. So as I said, there's a lot that comes out through your mouth via words, but there's also a lot that comes out with your body language, with your non-verbal communication. So be careful. If you're not consistent inside and outside, it will show pretty quickly. Okay, what should you avoid? You should avoid being too vague or general. So be specific as you can, but you don't have to put titles or timeline to it, but you could use a range. I would like to lead a team in the next 3 to 5 years. I would need to accumulate the skills I need for it, etc., etc. So be specific enough, not being accurate, saying I need to have this title in 3 months or something, but don't be too vague as well, or don't be too generic. Don't be overly ambitious or unrealistic. We talked about it. So be pragmatic. It's definitely a plus to come across as ambitious, but not unrealistic. And where the balance is, it is different from person to person. I might say something like, I would like to lead the entire company in 10 years, and I might come across as unrealistic, whereas you might say the same thing and you might come across as ambitious. So There is no one answer, one line for everybody that works. So pick the one that you think is is authentic to you. Don't be too modest. Sometimes I hear people saying nothing, saying I don't care. That answer is turned down in most cases, unless the role is in a way static and it's designed to not grow. So, which I wouldn't personally like, but there are very few positions where that may be an okay answer. But think about the role you apply for, and in that context, for that company, for that culture, is that a good answer? In most cases, not, but there could be exceptions. Okay, that said, let's look at some real examples from my blog. I will put the description in below. I have written a lot more in detail in the blog. So, one warning, please use this for inspiration only. I'm a hiring manager. I know a lot of people who do interviews and hire people. If you just Google or watch this video and then you go and into an interview and kind of copy paste response, give a copy paste response, it's you will be found out really quickly. So use this for inspiration, but make your own answers. And I'm going to take a few examples. I've not worked in all of these departments myself, but I would use that as an example for you to be inspired and create your own answers. Marketing, I would say, well, as I embark on this journey with the company, I'm eager to combine my creative and analytical strengths, and I would like to help create successful marketing strategies for this company. It's an exceptional chance for me to grow as a professional, while I also train to get into a leadership position within the marketing division, hopefully within the next 3 to 6 years or something like this. So in this response, there is ambition. There's an acknowledgement that I am not where I need to be now. It's going to take some time, but this is where I would like to move towards. So if you're a software developer, I would say something like, I'm eager to use my technical proficiency and analytical skills to create cutting-edge software solutions for this organization. Let's say this is a gaming organization. This opportunity would allow me to learn and develop my skills with an ultimate aim of progressing into a leading role within the development team, or you could just extend that into becoming a software architect or anything like that. I would also, if you have a hobby, or if you have a passion on doing something on the side, you could also say, I would also use this skill set to, eventually build a new gaming company one day. I don't know when that is. It could be in 5 years, but it's also something that's always looking on the side. This tells the other person that you are more than what people might come across as an employee. There's always more going on. Again, use the right balance. You don't want the employer to think that you're going to run away as well. So use your judgment. If you were in sales, you could talk about how you're passionate about helping clients achieve their goals and build a symbiotic relationship where you win and the customer wins. And you could talk about leading the sales teams in the region one day, potentially. If you are in one of the entry level roles, it's hard for you to say what you've done before. In a way, it's also hard for you to talk about what your skills are because you're discovering this yourself. So you could talk about your passions and interests, saying, I'm passionate and interested in, let's say, coding, finding, solving problems. And you could say, within 3 to 5 years, I would like to become an expert in, let's say, uh, the data solutions like Kafka, Hadoop, whatever. So whatever you talk about is relevant to you. You can see how your current where you are today is helping you build on it and then get to where you want to be. So we don't, what managers look for isn't the exact plan to say, here you are today and here you will be in 5 years, and then how you're going to take each step. Now, what people look for is saying, do you have a sense of direction? Do you know what are your next steps? Do you understand it's going to take a bit of work? Do you know where you need to go for help? These are largely the things that we look for. So if you're in mid-level roles, you could talk about taking more responsibility. You could talk about moving into leading your unit, team, a department. Try and put a size to this responsibility that you want to take on. If you are in the senior level roles, you could talk about scaling up your responsibility to head, let's say, the sales area for the sales or the growth for one particular region, or if you're in the software world, you could talk about owning the development agenda for the company, or making it modern, moving it from, let's say, platform sets A to platform sets B, which makes it future proof, future ready, etc. Or if you're anything that says, I'm here, I want to be there. When I say I want to be there, what I mean is doing this, this, and this at a high level. And I think this is the skill gap I will need to fill to get there. And this is where I would go for help. So that is roughly how I would answer this question. It doesn't guarantee that I would always get hired, but it does guarantee that I've given it my best shot. Remember, all of this is a game of presenting yourself in the best light and letting the other person decide if that is good enough for them. And in a way, when you're consistent with yourself, and you say what you mean and you mean what you say, and if the other person doesn't care about it, I also wouldn't worry too much about it. Because you, as an employee, you're going to work with this person practically 270 days or more out of your life, right? You cannot build a version that is not yourself and have a great relationship at work. So my recommendation is always be yourself. You need to be prepared, but the preparation is to help you present yourself in best light, not to make yourself look like somebody else. So when you've done this right, leave the floor to them. It's up to them. Do your best. And if you have an interview coming up, good luck. Subscribe to this channel. I have more coming on careers, interviews, productivity, and more. So thank you. See you in another video.